Whenever something big hits the headlines, global warming, COVID, a big tsunami or earthquake, and now Russia invading the Ukraine, people ask me to comment on it in the light of Bible prophecy. But I have to say that they are only mentioned indirectly in Bible prophecy, if at all. I can say that each of these events seems to be moving the world closer to what is mentioned in Bible prophecy, but it really accomplishes very little to build your understanding of Bible prophecy on such relatively minor events leading up to the return of Jesus. I call it putting too much trust in what you read in the newspapers. However, what is happening in Ukraine at the moment may be the start of something referred to as a deadly wound in Bible prophecy. You see, just over 30 years ago, on Christmas Day in 1991, worldwide communism received an unprecedented and inexplicable deadly wound when the Soviet flag was lowered from the Kremlin and replaced with the flag of Russia. Mikhail Gorbachev, as the president of the Soviet Union, had announced his resignation after almost single-handedly reforming the entire political and economic system. He had relaxed control of the press, freed thousands of political dissidents, and removed the constitutional control of the Communist Party. And then he peacefully handed control of the country over to a former political opponent, Boris Yeltsin. The second most powerful country in the world, split into 15 independent republics, effectively ending Russia's dominant role in world politics. It looked like the end of communism. Now, the Bible predicts that the coming Antichrist will receive a deadly wound, which will be miraculously healed, and the world will wonder after the Antichrist as a result. We could be witnessing the start of at least partial fulfillment of that right now. Eventually, I believe this prophecy will be fulfilled in an individual, the Antichrist himself. But Bible prophecy refers to kings and kingdoms interchangeably, so it's quite possible that both the king, that is the Antichrist, will receive, and the kingdom, that is world communism, has received a deadly wound, which will be miraculously healed. We need to watch what happens over the coming months to gain greater understanding and appreciation for what is going on right now. Let's keep our focus on the bigger picture. As we understand it, China will eventually back Russia to destroy the US. But God has been doing, or allowing, other things to bring the world closer to the brink, and we are swirling in the eddies that have come from those events. The beginning of sorrows prophecy best sums up what has been building up globally for a few years now. That is, earthquakes, pestilences, famines, wars, and rumors of war. We mentioned this at the start of the COVID outbreak, but noted then, as we do now, that Jesus said that these things are only the beginning of sorrows, and that when they happen, the end is not yet. In fact, we still expect a period of 3.5 years of peace and prosperity, probably shortly after the US is destroyed, when the masses of the rest of the world can get back so many of the resources that had previously been taken from them to feed America's insatiable greed. We would still advise people to watch for construction of a third temple in Jerusalem as the signal for a day-by-day countdown to the end. I would advise interested people to view our video about events that are yet to take place in the last 7 years if you want more specific details. A link to that video, called The Last 7 Years, appears in the description of this video, which is located directly beneath what you are now watching. Now, certain events like the fall of America and the use of microchip implants for buying and selling are not clearly pinpointed in the final countdown. So even when those things happen, we still have more time. But how we use that time is crucial. What are you doing right now to obey Jesus and His great commission to go into all the world to preach the gospel. Please consider joining with us in our very practical preparations to be part of God's end-time army just before Jesus returns. Please write to me today and share a little about your own spiritual journey. Thank you.